check it out.
What's up, everybody? Super WRX fan here for another weekly update. So, since last week, what's new? Well, I've scared a few old ladies with this exhaust system, and it started to make me wonder if I should maybe get something a little quieter. I love the way this sounds, but it's definitely very, very aggressive, very, very loud, and as a daily driver, I'm finding it to be a little bit tiresome, just having that constant, you know, brrr in your ears. It can kind of just make you a little more tired and fatigued, you know. So anyway, I'm thinking about replacing it with the Parent. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet, but I've heard the Parent's quieter. The Parent has a similar tone to this one. Not sure if I'm going to make the switch just yet. I might actually, instead of, this is a header back system, SRT has the cat back system, so basically I can just put in my, you know, mid pipe that goes from, you know, the headers to the cat back portion. I can replace that with the stock portion and, you know, hopefully bring down the sound level a little bit so that it's not quite as loud. So I'm considering maybe doing that too. But you do lose a little bit of power switching from the header back to the cat back. But you know, losing a couple horsepower, you know, in the effort to bring down the volume, I think it's something that'd probably be worth it. But yeah, I'm not 100% certain on that. I'm just starting to consider switching exhaust systems because it is definitely loud and can be obnoxious, you know, whenever you're driving through neighborhoods and stuff. And so, just considering that, that's about the only new BRZ thing. In other news, as far as the channel's concerned, I mentioned last week that I'm going to be going on a trip here soon, and next week I'll be going to Florida to visit my friend, and unfortunately Florida's a large state, so I'm not going to be close enough to Miami or Orlando where there's a lot of exotics, but I'll hopefully be able to see some cool cars there and enjoy the Florida weather at least. And I am flying, I'm not driving the BRZ down because it's like a 15-hour drive from where I'm at, so don't want to put tons and tons of, you know, miles on this car doing a long trip like that whenever airfare is the same cost. So just figured I'll fly down and enjoy. My buddy has a Mini Cooper S, so just enjoy riding around in that and checking his car out. And so yeah, I'll try and do an update video next week, even though I'll be in Florida. It obviously won't be in the BRZ, but you know, I'll try and incorporate something with my travels and stuff like that. I'll try to do something cool for you guys. Yesterday that I've been getting a lot over the past year almost since I've had the BRZ, and that's the question of why did I choose the BRZ over the FRS? You know, in America it's a pretty easy choice, I think, compared with the rest of the world where it's a little bit more complicated. So in America, all we have to choose from is the BRZ or the Scion FRS. The FRS is the stripped out basic car, so you know, the FRS doesn't have any of the luxuries that the BRZ has. So if you're looking for a track car, an absolute stripped down, you know, version of the FT86, the FRS is your choice. Or if you're just looking for the absolute lowest price possible, it's a good choice. Me, I was always a Subaru guy, obviously, a Super WRX fan. I've always loved Subarus my whole life. So for me, I was already leaning towards the Subaru just because of the badge that was on it. But then as I, you know, looked into it more, I kind of, for me, the BRZ fit me better than the FRS. After coming out of the Legacy GT, you know, I was used to having, you know, all those nice luxuries that I'm used to with the Legacy GT, and you didn't get those in the FRS. The BRZ that I have is the limited version, so I have the heated seats, I have the keyless entry, the push-button start, I have, you know, the leather and Alcantara seats, you know, the xenon headlights, the fog lights, LEDs, all that stuff. A lot of that, you know, the rear spoiler, that's all limited stuff. So the difference, the tough choice for a lot of people is whether to get a base BRZ, the premium one, or to get the standard FRS. The difference between the FRS and the BRZ base model is only $1,000 difference. So for that $1,000 difference, you get xenon headlights in the BRZ, you get the navigation system, and those are basically the main two things you get. There's a few other things here and there. For example, there's these little floodlights in the doors that you get on the BRZ that you don't get on the FRS. Those are just reflectors. So small little things like that that are just nice little additions to have. It sounds so good still. So to me, the BRZ, even if you're just going to go with a premium one, I think for the $1,000, I'd rather have the xenon standard, I'd rather have the navigation standard, the little lights in the doors, you know, small things like that. It just makes it a little bit more refined. $1,000 more, not that big of a deal. Plus, Scion doesn't let you do any kind of haggling. It's a straight MSRP is what you pay, whereas the Supers, especially now they've been out for a little while, you can bargain with them. So if you're a good bargainer, you could probably get a base BRZ for the same price as an FRS. So to me, I think the BRZ is a slightly better value, you know, for your money. Now, if you're in, you know, Europe, the Middle East, or Asia, you have the option to get the 86, you know, the GT86. And that car has all the same luxuries that the BRZ Limited has. It just has the, you know, exterior of the Toyota, you know, Scion version. So, you know, styling is a subjective thing. So if you just prefer the styling on the Scion, you know, Toyota better, that might be all it takes for you to decide whether you want the FRS or the BRZ. So yeah, guys, that's about it for my reasons. I just, you know, I thought this was a better value. I like the luxury features of the Limited over the, you know, basic bare bones FRS. Just a personal preference thing. As Jeremy Clarkson says, you can't go wrong with either one. He just did eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and you really can. I mean, they're so similar. It's just a matter of, do you want these fancy gadgets and the luxury of the leather and all that crap? If you don't, then don't worry about it. Just enjoy the FRS. You know, as far as mechanically, the cars are identical with the exception of there's slightly softer rear springs, I believe, on the FRS versus this car. So the FRS is a slight bit more prone to oversteer than the BRZ. The BRZ is set up to be a little bit more neutral handling, but they're still very, very, very similar. It's not like this feels like an all-wheel drive car and that feels like a crazy, you know, Mercedes AMG. There's not a huge difference there. They're pretty similar. I haven't driven an FRS yet, so I can't personally attest to the differences, but from what I hear, they're very, very minor. So yeah, guys, that's about it for this week. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week in Florida. Take care.